Hello, hello, friends. We're not quite in morning here anyway, but hope we're having a very merry time zone. I was feeling some Dwarf Fortress. I think it's because we just got to the caverns. It feels unfinished. You know? There's so much we need to do before we actually breach into them. I think I will put a marker there. The cave spiders are already leaving webs for us inside, though. It's actually kind of nice. So, hello again, friends. Welcome back. Today we're in Kolvad, or Wheel Sound. And I think I would like to actually breach the caverns today, but we want to do it in a specific way. We want to prepare our squads before we really get into that. I might let them gather some of this up, though. Like, if I turn the automatically collect webs, they should grab those, and then they don't even have access to that. As long as we remember to turn that off before we actually breach the caverns, we're good. But for now... that way we can go quickly between levels in case there's an emergency down there. And we had a lot going on. If I remember correctly, we were having issues with petitions. All of the guild halls want a place. I'm okay with that, though. Like, I'm actually really excited for that because we're gonna have places of learning going on. Ah, yes. We were having them make blocks on the double time. We made a new station for it. Give us the rock blocks. Little Karen is sparring. We can't actually read about it, too. Has its own combat log. They just lightly tap each other. Oh, they're grappling and stuff too. The militia commander looks surprised by the ferocity of the little Karen's onslaught. Okay. Oh, look at them. They're going off. It feels like they're actually using the space of the barracks now, where they used to kind of just cluster in one place. I like that. It used to be especially if we had a weapon stockpile in this area, they'd all just kind of cluster on top of it. No, they're moving around the entire barracks. I might actually add it as a place for them to sleep in that case. Because it's something that wasn't working before, but I know that they paid a lot more attention to stuff like that with the Siege update. Let's see, we've got 2 instruments in here, but we haven't assigned more performers. Can anyone play instruments? Keyboardist? Seems like that could work. It looks like a piano, basically. Okay, we have some very prolific pigs. We may need a pig room. We could put it in with the Farmers Guild. Alright, time to keep digging this space out, I suppose. We're gonna want more blocks ready for that, though, I think. How are we looking there? I don't know if we're gonna be able to fulfill all the petitions that they're wanting from us right now. So let's see. I guess it's only 2,000. So as soon as we start filling in like the walls and the floors and stuff like that, the situation should improve. Like, let's see how much that in itself brings up the value. It's very easy to add a pedestal with a few crafted goods from there. Okay, the bird room's getting a little crowded. Let's expand that a little bit. Right now it's 8 by 9. Let's add another 8 by 9 section. It's just double the space. We're gonna have to build walls around it anyway. Eventually we're gonna have to replace all this with reinforced walls as well. See, we can tell that they really need the clothing. Were the goblins defeated? The goblins were defeated. I think we lost like 1 or 2 dwarves. I don't think we've lost any named dwarves yet. Oh yeah, a dwarf child ended up deceased because one of the dwarves was possessed into crafting something. However, they didn't have the ingredients that they needed to craft the thing, and I didn't notice in time. So the guy that wanted to craft something went berserk and ended up in a fight with a child. The goblins were defeated by the tactics of grabbing them by their feet and throwing them around. Hey, it's marginally better than biting them and shaking them by that. But yeah, that was, I think, one of the funniest fights that we've witnessed so far was the one that they fell down within the first few turns, but then were still attacking while they were down, like grabbing him by the ankle and whipping him around. That was a good fight. That was a good fight. Little Karen was having a spar where they were jumping all around. Yeah, he was jumping all around the barracks, dodging. They're loving their sparring. Somebody even has their baby in there again. Goblin's Bane is in there. Bamaba. That baby is horrified reliving seeing a goblin die. I wonder how that will affect him. Relieved, remembering being near to a waterfall. So this baby is growing up in interesting circumstances. They've got a nice place to live. They were also born in battle. The dwarves spend all their time in the freaking barracks, and that is their tactics. Yeah, that's what they've learned so far. There's still snow on the ground, but it is melting. And the sun is out suddenly. It was nice and cloudy earlier. It's actually kind of nice to have the sun out for once. The warmth is good. Let's see, how much did it bring up the value? Not all that much, but once we get the floor in, and then, like, a little bit, like a table and some chairs or something for them. They'll be a lot happier. This is the Fischerdorf's Guild Hall. I don't know, we could put another fishery or something in there? I don't know what they would want in a Fischerdorf Guild Hall. It's positive 15 Celsius in the not Gainesville, Georgia tomorrow. You can't wait. Yeah, it's supposed to get like strangely warm here too soon. I don't think it's quite warmed up to it. Yeah, it's still around freezing here, but that's still a bit warmer than it has been some days. I'd say I'm starting to feel it warming up. Okay, let's expand this. Give the birds a little bit more room. They're starting to look cramped. Maybe it's just because of all the bugs that they spawn. They pull the bugs out of the ground. That's why we can keep the birds inside. Woohoo! Thank you very much. Oh, we've got a hype train. Let's go! Oh wow, I forgot that I had the Twitch alerts. It gives the little images. That's fun. I'm not used to seeing that on my stream. Hey, we've got some steel bucklers. I think I'm gonna make a stockpile for the armors and stuff too. I love how many named animals we have in Dwarf Fortress. Hey, we've got another named place. I forget when I'm just playing alone that I can name places in this game. We have the greatest bedroom. Where shall we put it? The temptation to make it the outdoors. Where all the animals are. They complain all the time though. These animals hate being out here. You know what? I like it. This. It is. It's the world's greatest bedroom. The great outdoors. And let's see how they like it. Oh. Annoyed when caught in a snowstorm. Afraid after experiencing trauma. And annoyed when caught in the rain. You know what? We have made barns and stuff like that for the animals in Zomboid. But we don't even have a barn for all of these animals in Dwarf Fortress. Oh, this one is happy after becoming a parent, at least. Yeah, these ones have it rough. We'll look at them maybe after we satisfy all these, but I think we already lost one of them. Shit. Yeah, we ignored one of them. I'll accept this one. The farmers are gonna get mad. A bunch of people will be unhappy about that already. But look at how many happy people we have. Whoa. 44 and 44 in each of those. What did I say about the waterworks in the tavern? Oh, someone finally cleaned up the puke. I'm so glad. Don't actually have a library yet. Nowhere to put the books. Hey, thanks for joining. Hello. Welcome. Oh, this is a good day. I'm enjoying myself. This dwarf fortress is really coming together. I'm worried about opening the caverns because this is right around where things can go very wrong. Oh, it isn't your first time here? Well, thanks for talking to us, you know? Like, happy to see you again in that case. Oh, you know what? I'll make a stockpile here. It'll make the dwarves even happier if we leave a little place for really nice crowns for them to see. You know, the bracelets, their bling. They love their bling. We don't want them to take the artifacts there. The masterwork and exceptional quality stuff. Gotta let them feel special. The dwarves really like to feel extravagant. Indeed, I don't know why the hype trains are so fun, but they managed to achieve something very fun with those. Alright, here's where we gotta get specific, though. Crowns, bracelets, amulets, earrings, figurines. They like their figurines, too. They like to pocket large gems, too, sometimes. Ooh. Oh, it kind of looks like the pattern that German Shepherds have, where they've got kind of the darker noses. But it's hard to tell with the face shape. It's almost got a kitty face shape. If it's a kitty, then it could be Siamese. But raccoon also works. It's always so hard to tell with the emotes. But it is very cute. You came up with a great name for a chicken? Of course I don't mind. That's one of my favorite parts. Clucky H. Oh, I love it. Oh, where... Oh, we've got a Hention. There's one without a name. Clucky H is beautiful. I love it. Okay. Can you deselect that one? Okay. There. And see, it only shows it once. Either way, we'll know. That is the chicken. It is. It's perfect. Yeah, we're starting to have all kinds of animals. It feels like that cat is thinking about going into the bird room, though. Doesn't it feel that way? It's looking at that door. Just waiting for a dwarf to leave it cracked. I guess we could do... No. Complications with sieges. In your experience, the name will show up correctly after a bit of lag time. Fair. I go a little bit excessive to make sure it does, I suppose. These dwarves are becoming a problem for the elves. It is a lot of dwarves. This many dwarves need lots of beds. Now, I've been relying on trade mostly for wood. However, we're only getting so much, you know? Only so much there. Oh, yes. There was a dwarf that had claimed this as a personal treasure. I wanted to give that to him in his room. But which one was it? Objects. Ah, treasure of Asmel Regal Cloister. Are you? Yes. Now where's his room? Modest quarters. This one. Now he gets to guard this himself. If he can't keep it safe in his room, then it's not safe. Testing don't click would clearly be testing don't cluck. That is a good chicken name for them. Oh boy, someone just got possessed. Our gem cutter is taken by a fey mood. I think we have a jewel crafting station. Yep. Yep. Alright, bracelets. Bracelets. There it is. The chores are done. Celebration. Chores can suck it, not in the fun way. Bureaucracy. Oh. Potato plant roast, potato plant biscuits, potato plant roast, biscuits and stew. Mystery baby. Or babies. Klockenheimer. We're gonna run out of chickens, but I think we do have an unnamed rooster or two. Yeah. Why is the rooster on the duck? The rooster is on the drake. Now I know that animals can have sexualities, but those are two different species. The final boss broiler is also gold. Another prophet visiting. Everybody likes the Chapel of Youth. Ah, we gotta make the panda available as a pet if it's gonna live there. I always get really careful around here because the option right next to it is to butcher it. The rooster's like, you are such a colorful bird. There's peacocks in there too, and you didn't go for that. It's not just the iridescence. You had to fight your cat who tried to eat a piece of plastic. The amount of times I have had to fight cats over that. Oh, you've probably seen me turning real fast and scolding my cat before. I try not to do that kind of thing too much, but also she's been threatening cables lately because she knows that it gets a reaction out of me, but she doesn't understand why it gets a reaction out of me. Like, I don't want her to electrocute herself by biting into a cord or something like that, you know? But she just knows, oh, if I tap it with my paw, then you look at me. She has no idea. Alright, how many blocks do we have? Do I have to do more digging? Now, we have a lot of dolomite. I think we just need to make some wheelbarrows, actually. To think of it, we haven't done that once. That will help our haulers significantly. You know what? I'll just make it a regular thing. Alright, we're still making steel. You know what? Let's have some... We have some bucklers. Can I get a short sword? Yeah, short sword. Yeah, certain things you just do not want to take the vet bill on letting them figure it out themselves. However, I did let her find out herself under supervision with a candle because she kept doing that thing where she was curious and I wasn't letting her, so she thought that, oh, I'm just being bad and silly. But no, you know, like, fire is dangerous. So I had to let her singe her hair a little bit and realize that, oh, there's a reason you don't want me sniffing the candle while it's lit. Yeah. And all it was a little bit of singed fur. She is sensible. And I was seeing the video of the cat that, like, it had the really fluffy tail and it turned around near the candle and its tail just goes whoosh. And the cat just turns and watches it happen. It's like the cat, in that video, the cat didn't end up hurt because it's the way the fluffy tail was. It actually, the fluff stopped burning before it actually reached the flesh part of the tail. So the cat was just fine. I don't know that it even felt the heat. It was just like, whoa. Sometimes you gotta let a bratty cat find out, but you carefully. Carefully. Alright, a perfect carnelian offered to the mindful bolt. So that has been offered to the civilization. So those I tend to make a part of, you know, either, you know, a guild hall will want more value, so I'll put one of those things on a pedestal in the guild hall, or a temple wants more value and the person who made it is part of that temple. Easy thing to put on a pedestal there. Okay, it keeps asking me this. I'm skeptical. Looks like they're moving around just fine to me. However, we do have enough things here. Oh, who's puking? Someone cleaned it up pretty fast, at least. Patient not resting. Who is being a bad patient? What happened to you? What? Oh, are they still recovering? They've got an infection. What happened? Okay, I guess they just had a long recovery. But no, there's a bunch of stuff that's not dealt with yet. Okay, what's going on here? Because they're just now taking care of them. Did this guy... Wait. What? Oh? Wait. This part is getting crazy. I feel weird about the fact that we noticed the chickens and the ducks, and now we have a dead drake. What happened there? I think the couple got in a fight, I suppose. What? Do we have a murder chicken? You're afraid after experiencing... Okay, why are they all afraid? What happened here? I think the rooster killed the duck. I do. I think it did. But they're all scared. They're all afraid after experiencing trauma, so... Oh, we don't have any crime solving in this fortress yet. We haven't set that up. So even if there are witnesses, like, we can't exactly interview the other animals in there. Was it the cat? Only room for one big cluck cluck here. Yeah, no, that duck is gone. I'm so curious about what happened there. That, and how did the guy in the hospital end up that injured? Did you fight the duck? Feels guilty after being able to rest and recuperate. Dejected after being kept from alcohol. Oh, we are running low on drink. Are we using that in food or something? Some of it. Okay, that's just because we're in the spring. The plant gatherers probably weren't doing quite as well in the winter. The herbalists, that's what they're calling themselves. It kind of feels like we have too many fishermen. Take some of these people off of it. Well, it's a good thing nobody wanted to name a duck. Kind of worried about the murder chicken. Farmitage. That is it. Which animal are we calling it? Because that one's pretty versatile. Now, I don't know which one of the roosters is the murder rooster. The poor Martina duck just got Myron clogged. No. And yes, there's all kinds of animals. Not limited just to the birds. Should be the murder chicken. That seems right. That seems right. Now, I'm not sure which one it was. There's one that's 2 years old, and there's one that's 4 years old. Does anybody remember which one it was? One resists sickness, one recovers quickly. They don't have a combat log. He's not giving away any of his memories. Well, this one's an optimist. Tends to avoid any physical confrontations. Perhaps not that one. What about this one? He likes to brawl. He's often cheerful. Little interest in joking around. Can sometimes act without deliberation. Enjoys the company of others. Typical values. That's the duck killer. There we are. There we are. We have our murder chicken, Farmitage. In there with Clucky H and Henteon. There's a few that the dwarves named as well. We can still name them. It just, we'll want to put it like down here if we don't want to overwrite the name that the dwarves gave them. Ah, yes. We're going to move the pigs into the Farmers Guild Hall when we make it. How many blocks have they made for us? Not many. They gotta haul the stuff all the way from down here. We don't have much of it. I think I'm just gonna have the... we may as well just pick a floor and just have them dig, you know? There's also more productive things they could be digging, you know? Like, I could even dig out more storage already. We definitely could use more bedrooms. Do we have doors made? Just a handful of them. Yeah, it's starting to feel like they're not producing things fast enough for how many dwarves they have, which means I need to put some work into the production floor. to Med Celestibrek has grown to become Goblin's Maid. Yes, he has. It's good to look at him. Where is it gonna list him? Doomed, that would be a D. Ah, there he is. Look at those eyebrows! Is my government still basically non-existent? Oh, we have a Baroness and we have a high beginning. Haven't given the Baroness a tomb yet. Nor have I given them weapon racks or armor stands and stuff, so they're kind of upset at me. But yeah, we don't have, like, a lot of things. A lot of things, frankly. Soon enough, we're gonna need a captain of the guard because people will start trying to steal stuff from us. The fort's name is Wheel Sound. Indeed. Yeah, Kolvad is the Dwarvish name, but Wheel Sound is the translation, from what I've gathered. Do we even have things with wheels? Oh! The wagon we rolled in on had wheels. Beyond that, we'll have a millstone eventually. We have a windmill. We have 2 windmills. We'll have water wheels. Water wheels, they work better underground though because the water doesn't freeze down there. The wheels are a distant memory. Yeah, they're part of the history of this place. Man, the children always gravitate towards morbid things. An elven caravan. Oh, hide the wood. The wood and the meat. Don't let them in the tavern now. We've got to have something. We have cabbage stew. It's a stack of 10 exceptionally prepared cabbage stews. The ingredients are finely minced cabbage, exceptionally minced cabbage, and superiorly minced cabbage. Why are they using just cabbage? I guess it helps us to know what's in there, but... Alright, I'm gonna have them bring up all of this stuff so it constantly keeps fresh stuff circulating for them to move around and touch and go, I like this trinket. The wood and the meat. It wasn't on purpose, and now that I think about it, the elves are a certain way about things, aren't they? Don't know if I'd really thought about that until now. Why are the elves so offended by... Why is a human producing our gloves? You know how I can tell that it's a human on glove duty? All of them are large. Guy's only making gloves for himself. None of the dwarves can wear those. The elves probably could, though. They're making trousers too. They can keep those. It's still illegal here to sell toy hammers. No export on toy hammers. Because we don't actually have like a dungeon or anything like that set up, if we do end up doing that, whoever, our tradesman, will end up getting the absolute shit beat out of him. Like, that's how they enforce things when you don't have a dungeon. They're like, yeah, we'll just beat them. The elves don't like the hammers, and the dwarves aren't willing to sell them. You can't have my hammers. No. It's the toys. Our children have to learn somehow. Gotta keep the peace somehow. That's what they go for, yeah. Oh, come on. Okay, you can keep one. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna actually have to assign somebody to the tailoring station. Now we know. Clothier's shop. Alright, let's assign a dwarf. Legendary? I mean, kind of the natural choice, right? Captain of the guard will be checking the exports for that toy hammer contraband. Yes. Sounds like crime was not a priority for the dwarves. If they are criminals, we smash. Yeah, surprisingly little crime in this fortress so far, knocking on wood. I attribute this to our very confusing storage system. They would have to dig through so much to try to find our valuables. And they'd have to get down past all of these layers to do it. So unless they want to steal something from the temple, in which case there are going to be a lot of witnesses. What are you guys doing in here? Oh. They all, they finished their training and they're like, alright, over to the temple. They're all worshiping, praying. Yeah. Okay, guys. Why are you in formation for that, though? See, he was delighted, remembering putting on an exceptional item. What have you got? A single sheep wool sock. Oh, yeah. Got some nice bracelets and earrings, though. See, like, they pick those up when you have them move stuff. So, something that's fun to do at a certain point of Big Fort is just make it so that everybody hauls stuff when it's trading time. Because sometimes they'll decide, you know, actually I want to put this on instead. Greetings from the woodlands. We have much to discuss. We elves are partial in particular to the trees and the forests surrounding your lands. Although we are loath to spare a single branch to your senseless slaughter, we are willing to ask that you cap your tree fells at 25 until we next meet. I will try to return next year as I am able. That is a lot more reasonable than they normally are. I seem to remember the last time I saw this conversation, they were only okay with me felling like 5 trees. So Okay. We can part with at most 36 trees, Butcher. Our needs exceed your allowances. Relax, they're only trees. Or, we can abide by this. Let us work towards mutual coexistence. We're actually doing fine getting our wood from trading anyway, so that's a lot of trees compared to what they were okay with. And I'd rather get their animals. You think that limit is lower if you embark in untamed wild biomes? Okay. That may be why then. I normally do go for stuff like that. I like having the crazy wildlife. Sometimes it joins you. Decides it likes the place. Sometimes it just makes things very interesting. Our broker is asleep. Sorry, dude. You know what? Instead of going further this direction, I kind of want to go further this direction. But I also want things to be more even than they were. How can we do this? Could offset it just a bit there. Yeah. I feel like that works. I don't like that it's offset, but I'd prefer for the rooms to be even. Just because... I don't know, dwarves can be jealous, I think. It feels like they get discontent easier over certain things. Just wealth inequality seems like an easy way to cause friction between dwarves, you know? They do love their treasure. Probably be even worse among dragons, though. Why are some of them tiny? These ones are attached to the hospital, so these are actually hospital beds. People in them basically spend the entire time either passed out or being sutured. So their memory of the experience is basically going to be pretty shitty anyway, because the dwarves pretty much always end up feeling guilty that they're resting. They end up they're laying there in bed recovering from fighting their ass off and getting just stomped. And they're laying there restless because they feel guilty that they have time to rest. Yeah, yeah. Like, they spend as little time recovering as they can. Somebody even left his broken shirt. His shirt was in tatters. He just left it there. I'm getting out of here. But yeah, some of these ones, like, I tried to give them a little bit more space, but yeah. This one is actually a dining room that I haven't really fleshed out. Lots of little touches to finish up. Constantly. And yes, when they're done hauling stuff, they can start working on that. Ooh. Does this work? No, it doesn't. But it does if we do this. Right? We're gonna have to have long rooms if we do that. Or I could move it all over one. Is there a way I can just... no. If I do this... I shouldn't have outlined it as much as I did. I thought I was happy with it until I saw that last part. Yes, that works. That works. I'm happy with that. I did. I just deleted everything because I was really unhappy with the way that it was offset. I'm just like, no. No. This will not do. It's one of those things where even if I try to fool myself right now into thinking that later on I'll be okay with it, I'm just gonna end up restructuring the entire place to get rid of that offset anyway later on. So that or moving on to another fortress because I don't want to go through all that. Plus, the nobles kind of take over at a certain point if you're not willing to get rid of them. I've seen some creative ways of disposing of one's nobles. Yes. Do you see why I deleted it now? It is so much better. It all lines up. We'll delete that one. I mean, we could have it go around as well just to give more access to the hospital. But it feels unnecessary. Yeah. Yes, I will leave them to that. Then, our broker is still asleep. We'll wait on him to get there. How do we determine if a dwarf gets a dresser or not? Well, have we made enough dressers? And do they currently have stuff laying all over the floor? This one has stuff laying on the floor even though they have a dresser, so they might just be a messy dwarf. That or they're just done with the broken stuff and they don't want to take it anywhere. Some dwarves are just messy by nature though. They will leave their stuff all over their room. Yeah. Eventually I'd like for all of the dwarves to have their own dressers. We just haven't quite got there yet. Alright, let's see what they have for us. We'll take the wood. Take some instruments. A wombat! That's what I'm talking about. We got some strange animals. We don't have any of the giant ones yet. Eventually we may be able to request stuff from them though. Actually, it looks like the elves sell small stuff. So maybe the elves are just petite enough that they can kind of share clothing with dwarves. It's gotta fit pretty strangely though. Carnelian pedestal. Sure. Sure, we'll take it. We do want to give them enough that they like us. Yeah, let's just go for green. Oh no! There was leather in here. But we didn't kill it. Wait, are they mad at the wool? What are you getting pissed off at? I see your low race still revels in death, that poor gentle creature. We didn't kill them to take their wool. Pigtails are plants. The dwarves are gonna rebel sooner or later. Look at that! Look at that score though up there. We don't have a single very angry dwarf. We've even got 11 super happy dwarves. I'm actually so upset. I guess we won't sell them clothes either. I don't think they will sell to us at all now though. Yeah, they won't trade with us. That sucks. They always find a reason. These elves piss me off. The dwarves will always find a reason to be pissed off. If we run out of drink, then we know that things are gonna go downhill fast. As long as we've got drinks, they'll stick with us to some extent. You know, there'll be some dwarves left, even if most of them rebel. But as soon as the drink runs out, nope. Would you pick these? Make it a priority, guys. We've got to get the Farmers Guild down as well. You know what? I'm just gonna basically clone this 14 by 7 there. We want to leave kind of what am I trying to say? We want to leave 2 spaces between these because the wall counts as one, it counts as part of this place, but it counts the value of the wall as part of that place. So we don't want it to overlap for multiple reasons. Woohoo! Another piglet. We got some of the kittens growing up. And we've got a water buffalo calf. The animals are actually multiplying to the point where we can eat them. Prepared blue peafowl intestines. That somehow sounds less appetizing than the idea of butchering the animal in the first place, you know? Ah, yes. Now that's... Trading is over. Just gonna turn off everybody's ability to haul. Stick to the ones we selected. We've got another kitten. They will guard our food well. Oh, 123 populate, 124. Okay, that's just gonna keep ticking up. Let's watch the tavern as they roll in. $131. The Mountainous Guild, a Metalsmiths Guild. Alright, we got multiple people going to that station apparently. It already feels like we have too many Fisher Dwarfs. Let's get more herbalists. And none of them know how to do this. Alright then. You're gonna learn. We got siege operators. I'm just gonna assign them to it so that I can see that that's something that they can do eventually. And now we shall check if any animals arrived. We got another alpaca. Another kitten. And it's a good thing we expanded the bird area. They really don't like digging into aquifers, so I do have to keep prompting them to do it. Oh, we'll just stick here, keep an eye on it, peek at the tavern every now and then. Let's see. Do we have more dressers? Let's see if we have furniture for the peoples. We do have some more. And see how it's decided this time is now this row gets some. And there's some left, so this row gets some. Do we have any more doors? Then we can have more bedrooms. Only 2 more doors. It does feel like it's going faster now that they actually have wheelbarrows. But we may just, oh man, these guys need dressers. These guys really need dressers. Yeah, we've got wheelbarrows. I actually do want them making blocks and other stuff out of the marble. So I'd like it if they'd bring that upstairs. I don't know that I actually want them keeping the blocks there though. I think I'd prefer they move those. At least we're bringing in rocks faster now. We got some brimstone. What do we use that for? Making furniture and building. Perfect. It's a fun color too. It's gonna be some dwarf's favorite thing to have things made out of. Eventually, if we like dwarves enough, what we can do is see this kid here, Goblinsbane. He has preferences. He likes Gabbro, Trifle Pewter, Morion, battle axes, splints, horses for their strength, purring maggots for their comforting whirs, and the sound of the aquamarine drums. When possible, he prefers to consume gutter cruer, pearl millet flour, and cave wheat seeds. He absolutely detests rats. Hates them. And welcome, Space Pants. So, if we have, like, a dresser made out of gabbro, or something like that, then he would love it if we left that in his room. He has his own Dolomite puzzle box, though. He's hanging out in his room. Is this his room? Was Goblinsbane rewarded a room of his own already? Okay, no, this isn't his. Is it his parents'? It is. He's actually hanging out in his parents' room. We've got another petition. The Metalsmiths Guild is asking now. Again, I like these, but they're forcing me to clear the aquifer. I do want it to be on this floor. Alright, this I'm gonna have to at least put down is the Farmers Guild. The Leafy Seed. That is quite a name, isn't it? They're still afraid after experiencing trauma. These birds have been through some shit. Why are these scholars all in the corner here? They're just in formation. Temple goers are frightening me. And generally concerning behavior. And see, in here we can tuck some cool stuff. Just make the pathway look nice. How long have I been a Dwarf Fortress player? Well, let's see. Let me check my Steam hours. I can tell you at least how many hours I have in the game. I have 319.9 hours so far. I think it was like in the past year or two that I picked up the game. So not very long, all things considered. I didn't play before the Steam version of it with these kind of graphics. I think I had heard about it before, but I had trouble like seeing it, you know? Like really seeing what was happening on the screen. Game was a lot more of an imaginative exercise. It is still a very imaginative exercise, but it requires less just to get into it. That really helped me. How about you? How long you been playing? Or have you? I assume you have, but I also know that more people are getting into it recently, like me too. I'm not the only new player, surely. There we go. It was gonna annoy me if it didn't line up. Samesies, alright. That's fun. It's nice to be at around the same familiarity level. You know, like we both could probably learn things from each other. I always check that even if I've already peaked recently, because sometimes they'll stack another petition that I won't notice if I don't actually look at it. Why are you leaving the loincloth here? Who left their loincloth between the temple, the barracks, and the tavern? Someone partying. Now, I have had dwarves end up stuck inside of walls because of situations where I just, like, you know, if I was just be like, oh, just build the whole wall. They don't prioritize very well on what parts of it to build first. And they can build diagonally, so sometimes they put themselves in very awkward situations. Where here, at least they can't trap themselves or make it so that they can't finish the wall. Just build themselves into a corner, you know? He's trying to put himself in the wall. Why are you standing there, buddy? Like, technically it is part of the guild hall, but it's meant to be the wall part. Hello, hello. How we doing? Hey, we've got horses. Goblin's Bane will be happy. Do we have any more marble? Give me some marble blocks. There we go. Now we're actually going to be able to add an engraving to the entrance to the tavern. Well, engravings. Nothing. Well, I'm doing all right, running a dwarf fortress. So far, we have some very happy dwarves. And everybody wants to live here. Which will quickly become a bit of a problem. I haven't even built the library yet. Okay, you're doing fine. That's good. I'm doing good. Just a chill day. So far, the goblins haven't been giving us much trouble. But we are absolutely surrounded by them. Two of them are economically linked to us, which I haven't had happen before. Like, are some of the goblins our friends? This doesn't generally happen, and we haven't seen any of them visit in a friendly way. Pool of goblin blood out there. Like, they've tried to raid us a few times, but we haven't seen any friendly goblins. Sometimes, like, you do often end up with entertainers and stuff showing up to your place, whether they're spying or not. Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. So far, your English is good enough. Alright, here. Let's get them engraving. We've got it limited to only dwarves with skill in engraving, so hopefully there'll be some pretty nice ones. The mousy oh wow. Saturninity? Saturninity. This game can be hard. There is quite a learning curve to it. There's so much to learn in this game. Even just the basic controls, it took me a long time to get. But also, everything you can do with all of those controls are awesome. Yeah, we have a mist generator in our tavern, and that is part of what's keeping our dwarves so happy. Up here, we've got 2 windmills to power it, and we've got a little wall around it, which won't really stand up to the siege update. So eventually we'll want to power it some other way if we want to be safe about things. But for now, this is how it works. These screw pumps are basically just all passing a little bit of water back and forth to each other in a circle. And there's a little hole with iron floor bars beneath that a little bit of water drops into and onto the statues. Kind of disperses around. So they love the statues, but also we get like half of the tavern with the waterfall effect. They love it, love it. They feel relieved being near to a waterfall, and even more importantly, they often remember how happy being near the waterfall made them. Which can really keep the good mood more consistent for them. Ah, we've got a possession. Looks like they're going grabbing stuff, so at least they haven't run out of what they need. Yeah, this design, I think it was Blind, has a tutorial for this design on YouTube. He did it a little bit differently, like the axles here, putting it down underground like this is a little bit of a variation on the design. But the only difficult part of that was the gear assemblies you have to use whenever there's a turn in the axles. And you have to build down up, so like things can't just be hanging out over nothing. You have to build the bottom and then upwards. But other than that, his tutorials are awesome. And basically gave me everything I needed to figure the rest of it out. Man, we made a little bit of a mess, but we did manage to actually clear out the aquifer, set up the Farmers Guild. They're not quite happy with it. But they will be soon enough. I'd like... Oh no. Is there one? Yeah. There we go. That's a fast way to clear it. Human caravan. Ah, the humans aren't picky. We can sell them our clothes. Our broken clothes. And our large stuff. They'll actually like that. Okay, we have a tiger leather tunic. The elves would definitely have been pissed off at that. I'm not sure if I included that. We got marble crowns. That's gotta be heavy. Can you imagine wearing a marble crown? You gotta have dwarven structure for that. You would want a thick neck to be wearing a marble crown. Yep. All of these gloves. This is why we assigned a dwarf to the clothier station. We could trade them some food. We'll give them that one. Don't want to give them too much. We do actually have a decent population size now. We're going through the drink. I think we're just gonna need more people on plant gathering. It's enough haulers, we need plant gatherers. Until we have planters. What are we missing? Both for that. Okay, we need food storage items, so we're actually getting held up with stone. Let's let them bring dolomite up here. Okay, we are allowing them to bring it up here, which means we need to not allow them to bring it here if they're just gonna bring it over there. They seem to prefer certain stockpiles, regardless of how close they are. Actually, I'm gonna put it a few levels up. Two, three, four, five. Yeah, let's do right there. Just because we don't want them to hit the area right away with the locked hatches. Just because it doesn't give us very much time to lock them. But if they've gotten a few levels up, then they've already gotten far enough that they must be stopped. There's not really a question there. Did we already bring all this stuff up? Yeah. All right. Please take our broken clothes and our large clothes. They've got lots of nice gems. More logs for us. Those are not actually chains, those are rope. A thrapin? Sounds like a lovely instrument. Oh, we could take their toy hammer. Let's do it. A peregrine falcon. Another guinea hen. A mountain goat. A cardinal. They got birds in here. Duck bear. This one named after me. I am flattered. Let's take some of their wine, too. Wine and beer the humans got for us. Silver battle axe. Oh, you know what? You can take more stuff. Yeah, we'll take more off you. Do the humans make any demands? No, not really. They just want to trade most of the time. As long as you're not at war with them. Take one of these for a human. Can't really use a lot of their stuff. Funnily enough, we can use their bucklers, though. Those aren't too big for us. Passion fruit seeds and parsnip seeds. If we make some surface Surface farms. They're not actually surface farms. I will show you when we get to it. There's a way to trick it where you can have surface plants underground, but you have to dig down from the surface to achieve it. So it is easiest to let's see, I don't want the iron stuff. Take the silver battle axe though. Man, thoughts on drink straps is expensive. We'll take factual master scraped then. Humans and their knowledge. They don't want to give it to us. Okay. Okay. You know, you can keep your toy axes, you can keep your toy boats, but I want the toy hammers. Don't need the flask, but I want the thrappin'. There. Yes, they're ecstatic. They love us now. The outside being the greatest bedroom. It makes me happy. It makes me happy. Now, what poor duck will I choose? Hopefully this one doesn't get absolutely destroyed as well. Resist sickness, but frail. Let's look at them. Great ability to focus, great memory, and very good creativity. But he has little natural inclination towards music, not a musical duck. Swayed by emotional appeals, tends to be passive in discussions. Tends to be a little tight with resources when working on projects. Nervous. Does not easily fall in love and rarely develops positive sentiments. This one is already named. In discussions, yes. Yes, yes, in the complex duck politics that happen in this fortress. Oh, this one is passive in discussions too. Apparently the ducks are all just not big talkers. She thinks she's fairly important. This duck thinks that she is important in the grand scheme of things. Why is that so adorable? Whoa, a tick! Glad we have all these birds eating them. This is an agile duck. She has all negative traits. Iffy sense for music, poor analytical abilities, bad intuition, poor focus, and a large deficit of willpower. Doesn't seek out excitement. I think I'm gonna be dissatisfied. I'm gonna feel weird if I try to pick it based off of the traits. I like the clumsy duck. I'll go with the clumsy duck. Duck bear. Okay, let's see. Do we have enough to do all that? Not quite. Let's see whose animal survives the longest. Real. Oh, we already traded with you guys. Run along. Okay, we still want the metalsmiths. Gotta start clearing that out, too. We've still got plenty of stuff for them to gather up. Is there a danger of the dwarves cooking up hention or not? Okay, so the danger is only if we choose for there to be danger. We can even sterilize the animals. There are dwarves that are particularly good at gilding. But yeah, if we mark the animal to be slaughtered, then the dwarves will chop it up and eat it. But until we've marked it for that, they're safe. So unless we get to a point where we absolutely, like, if we're under siege and we need to eat what's in here, the pigs are probably gonna go first, to be honest. We have a lot of them now. They really love the waterfall, though. I keep thinking about moving them into the farmer's hall. But they really love the waterfall. Maybe I'll leave some of the special pigs in there. Only the most cultured of swine in the tavern. Oh no, we built a wall. That was not my intention. I wanted a floor. How we doing on value? 892. Oh, we're nearly there for the Farmers Guild Hall. Do we have more people? Okay, some more migrants have arrived. This is what I'm saying. Everybody wants to live here. We cannot make enough beds. Or doors. We're actually making the beds faster than we're making the doors. It's all handled by the same thing that's doing the blocks as well. But we do have this one specifically on blocks. Oh, what are you missing? Needs stone, rock, needs bones, needs cloth, thread, and leather skin. Not my favorite list. I feel like we have some of that stuff. And I'm not sure why they haven't grabbed it yet. There we got some yarn. But he wants cloth thread, so that's probably just because we are not processing the plants. Let's go for it. I'm sure that the plant gatherers have gotten some stuff that we could be using for clothes. No idea where they'd be keeping it other than with the plants that we eat, but we've got reindeer's milk. Call Santa Claus. Oh man, this guild has been waiting too. Are they unhappy with us yet? Not yet, luckily. We could have them make some pedestals. Let's make some pedestals. Please tell me this is the one we make them on. This Craftdorf station is taken up. Yeah, just make 10. I don't need them super regularly. I just need several of them. Hey! Another cat adopted a dwarf child. The cats seem to prefer the dwarven children. We also have to manually set whether an animal is adoptable as a pet for anything but the cats. The cats are the ones that adopt the dwarves, but the dogs and stuff like that, we have to actively put them up for adoption if they didn't show up already the pet of somebody who joined us. You know what? I'm taking some of you off of fishing. There are too many fisher dwarves right now. And then we need more of them hauling again. I'm gonna have to do the squads again at some point. My goal was to open up the caverns, but we've ended up just needing to work on all the petitions. I guess setting up the meeting halls, making sure they're sharing their skills is important before we make things more dangerous for them. There's that at least. Also, I was gonna leave this side of the hall free for all the temples and stuff like that, and then this side would be the meeting halls and stuff like that. However, they're really wanting more meeting halls than anything else, so I'm thinking I kind of want to do something special here. Like maybe there's a crossroads here because we have all of this space up now and we have all of this space down, but we don't have very much space to keep going this direction. If you look at the top right, you can see how much space is left that we can actually build on. It's like if we drag it all the way over here, yeah, that's enough for like one more meeting hall and a crossroads if we want to make it. I think I want to make the crossroads here though. That way we have space over here. Tab rooms. Two. I think two will do it. Something like that. See how quickly this goes wrong. Where is the aquifer? We're gonna outline it. I've experimented a little bit with using aquifers to create mist generators. Because mist generators on staircases and stuff like that built into the wall kind of can also be very helpful. Anywhere that your dwarves are going to be spending a lot of time, like the tavern, almost every dwarf in this fortress is going to end up visiting the tavern. Oh, we're just about out of drink. That's why they're upset. I think at this point I need to be looking at... Alright. Yeah, we want them making drink out of it, not making food out of it. Acorns and walnuts they can make food out of, but no other seeds. That feels right. Stop cooking with the barley wine. Then I don't think that we can make drink out of any of these. Alright, so we'll just want to check fairly regularly on the veg, fruit, leaves tab to see if they can make drink and they can cook with it, then we want them prioritizing making drink with it. Because we got plenty of stuff they can make food out of. Look at all those fish we have. We do not need all those fish. See, part of the problem is we have some very talented dwarves. We'll leave the talented and above on it, but the rest of them can get to other stuff. Take some of these off of the million tasks they have. Then, yeah, we are gonna need more people hauling stuff. So there is always stuff to be moved around. Whenever we get planters going, it becomes a lot more efficient, but that is a whole nother project. That's gonna go up here probably to start with. It's a good thing we have a few allotted trees that we can take down, because we're gonna need to dig out a whole bunch of space, and it's just gonna be safest to take out the trees first. Certain digging projects can get dangerous. Uh-oh. He's gone stark raving mad, but not berserk. Don't hear fighting yet. So we might lose that guy, but at least he didn't kill a kid. The last guy to go berserk took a kid with him. We ignored it because we left it too long. That's fine, actually. That's kind of convenient. They're gonna be upset about it, but we had too many petitions to worry about at once. Like, something that we're gonna have to do here. We need to do that in order to actually put down the floor. Don't think we have enough. No, not quite. We'll start putting it down. What was the biggest fort I've ever had? Also 140 population. Wasn't it 114 half an hour ago? I'm pretty sure, yeah. This is why I was like, everybody wants to be here. This is gonna grow really fast. I think the biggest, it was over 300. Because I remember I had it capped at 300, and then I was like, I could probably have more dwarves in here and not lag out. Yeah. It's always a question, can I have that many dwarves and not lag out? Like, some of that comes down to the design of the place, but a lot of it comes down to the computer. Because there's so much that's actually being calculated for each dwarf, each creature on this map. Certain things can make it laggy, yeah. I had more of an issue with that on my old laptop. I haven't actually had issues with that since my desktop. The Cult of Panthers has many worshippers. So now they want a temple. Alright, same thing here. We want to give it double thick walls. It's 12 by 7, right? Yeah. I don't like that I didn't round them, so I'm gonna do that this time. I don't know if I'd heard this music yet. Oh no, this part. Yeah, I have heard this. Some things that the game calculates are less than important, like whether the ducks like discussions or not. That, I mean, once the duck is born, that's already been decided. So stuff like that actually probably is less of a problem, unless a whole bunch of things are being born at once, I guess. But yeah, I imagine it's some sort of, like, role system, basically, between different traits. There's in adventure mode, there's a scale between two different sort of ends of a spectrum with different traits. I'm guessing it works something like that. Alright, the Cult of Panthers. What we need to determine. What dwarfish god is the Cult of Panthers worshipping? Actually, I do want to cut off this last section here, because we want that to count towards the value of the back section. So the Cult of Panthers. They're worshipping metals and animals. That's an interesting combination for this world, because that actually can happen with the Forgotten Beasts. The Church of Growth. Okay, we've got an interesting combination here. We've got a fertility church right next to somewhere to worship the god of ores and animals. I don't know, not a guild hall, a temple. I'm gonna accept this before I do that. The Shrine of Meadows. Alright, so they all want flooring as well. The Vegetation of Oak, the Leafy Seed, the Shrine of Meadows. Why don't the elves like us? They really should by now. Maybe they dislike us because we're too much like them. We even expanded the area for the birds before I gave all the dwarves that live here a broom. Elves are like, you are like Papa, you lie. Oh shit. I haven't actually watched the latest season of Stranger Things, but I've already heard the things. Like, apparently some people were not very happy with the ending. Felt that it was underwhelming after all of the, like, hint dropping that Stranger Things did over the years. You have taken over our woods. The elves don't like such big colonies. You'd think that they would get along with the dwarves, considering we do most of our building underground. Like, the elves weren't planning on using the inside of the mountain, let's be real. We could have an elven civilization on the surface, because they like to build in the trees. Like, the elves love having tree houses. So we could coexist perfectly happily. We're barely above ground. It just felt like they wanted season 5 to be over. That's kind of sad to hear. Pedestals. That's what we were gonna do about this. Keep the unprepared fish there. Alright, and then if we get a pedestal down, then we can start upping the value of this place without having to put in the floors quite yet. Because we've had a lot of really nice stuff donated to the civilization. These down here, that's the kind of stuff that I like to put in guild halls when they're wanting a bit of value. They want to be expensive. It seems no matter the game, elves hate dwarves. They always find a reason. They always find a reason. See, everybody wants value in the guild halls and the temples and stuff like that. I just want to finish the inn. I want to turn this tavern into an inn. I feel like we'll get some really interesting people coming in. Even if it's crappy little rooms like that. those are the sizes of our hospital rooms, but it's still better than sleeping on the tavern floor, you know? I don't think we can smooth that anymore, though. So apparently the block floors are as smooth as the smoothed floors, even though they don't look like it. Oh, look at that. I forgot the nobles don't even have cabinets. Yeah. At least one of them. Looks like we do actually have some furniture to put down, though. I like that there's always, always, always something to do. Especially, like, as soon as I got the work order thing down, they're always working on something, and there's always something that I can do after they've gotten that part done. It's like we're passing tasks back and forth, me and the dwarves. What is the human poet doing sleeping in the hospital? Eventually we'll put stuff down here for baths. We haven't even finished the hospital beds. Everywhere wants blocks. What are you doing in the waterworks? Oh, they're gathering the plants up here. Yeah, we've got 2 trees in here with our windmills. It's not my favorite thing, but we were putting off cutting them down because the elves. So since we can take 2 trees in that 36 number, what is all this blood? Oh, we still got goblin blood up here. That must have been washing off of the dwarves in the rain or something like that. This very angry dwarf. We have one very angry dwarf. Now, normally, I would think that it's the one dwarf that's dour as a rule. But they had a change of heart, right? Like, it shouldn't be them. Let's see. Who's angry? Who's our very angry dwarf? There you are. A stonecraft. Oh. The one who went mad. I see. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not sure there's much that we can do for them. So we already have the waterworks set up. You know, the mist generator is generally a good bet for them for making them feel better. But this guy is probably just going to starve himself to death. Or dehydrate. Because they kind of just stop eating or drinking. He's running around in the trees now, babbling. I think he's decided to join the elves. Happens to the best of us. Spend enough time around the elves. Go mad. really have enough marble to give them all marble floor. Why is there a puppy in here? Oh, we had more nomads. Or more migrants, more people moving in here. That means they brought animals that we need to sort. Although, we can have indoor pastures now that we've dug into the caverns and the floor fungus is all over. Like, we could put grazers in this area with the birds and they would actually be able to eat. However, I'm going back and forth on it because we have to, like, encapsulate it further around it if we're going to have dirt in here. Because we can't let them dig into it. There's so much we still need to do when it comes to that. For now, we'll leave the grazers out here. The piglet can join the rest of them in the tavern. Since we haven't moved the pigs out yet. And the puppy gets to go down to the residential lair. They get to wander around the hallways. I'll expand that a little bit. So it looks like we've added to things since we made that. I don't know if I want to let them into the hospital. That seems like it could cause some trouble, especially if we ever end up with were creatures. Which is why I've made the hospital beds that way, by the way. That's why everybody gets their own room in the hospital. With a door that can be locked. See, they're not happy. Too many petitions at once like that, and nobody ends up happy. But, with all of that progress for the day, we're at 2 hours, so I'm gonna stop for now. Leave some energy for tomorrow. I'm not sure if we'll be back on Dark Fortress tomorrow, but still. It has been lovely. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for gaming with me. Have a very lovely time zone. More of everyone's most hated survivor, quite potentially. He had something going. He is trying to have his redemption arc. See you, friends.